Hey lifestyle connoisseurs, it's me again, Bina Tamba. We're back in the kitchen and today we're going to be making some lamb together. Before we get right into it, let me just get the admin out of the way. First and foremost, yes, I know I'm in my dressing gown, it's lockdown and I haven't been outside in a long time. So having clothes on in general really is an accomplishment for me. Please accept me as I am. I'm very sorry, I promise to do better next time and I'll at least put on a pair of jeans or something like that. So I'm not going to go into the details of the recipe today, but I will show you bits and bobs of what I like to do in the kitchen and also some kitchen hacks. Or if you want, I've got some Amazon shopping lists that I'm going to put together and you can find through the link attached to this video and also on the website. Now, before we get started, listen to this. Oh my gosh, lifestyle connoisseurs, did that sound give you chills the same way it gave me chills? If you noticed, I drizzled the oil on the skin of the lamb before I put on any of the salt, pepper and other seasoning. What I'm trying to avoid here is any of the seasoning running off with the excess oil that I've applied to the meat. So my general rule of thumb is when I'm baking or grilling, I add the oil, dressing or sauces on before sprinkling any of the salt, pepper and other spices. One of the things I love most about cooking is that I start off with all of these individual ingredients, I combine them, put them together with a little bit of effort, a little bit of preparation, and I end up with this one meal that I can enjoy either by myself or with others. I feel like it's one of the most special parts of my life and I'm so excited to be sharing it with you guys because we're all one big happy family. Yeah, I said it, I'm cheesy like that. Okay, so we're coming on to the next part of our recipe and here is another sound sample. Have a listen to this. This probably sounds obvious, but I found this tip super helpful since the beginning of time. Before I get into that, as you can see now, we're starting to prepare our sides. These ones are relatively easy. It's just microwave and also oven. We are cheating a little bit today. So we're getting these ready for when the lamb is going in the oven and it all goes in together. Right, so back to my point about the oil. You can tell how hot the oil is depending on the sound of the sizzle. The higher the temperature, the more intense the sizzle. You'll also notice there'll be more smoke coming off the food. This is why I was saying I don't always go along with the recipe because I use my eyes and ears to see how far along my food is. Well, would you look at that? Okay, so we'll check on the sizzling, we'll check on the smoke. Sounds like our lamb is ready to go into the oven. We're also going to be putting our potatoes in the oven as well and they will just cook themselves until we're ready to start adding more seasoning to our meat. The lamb went into the pan skin side down and now I'm arranging it skin side up on the baking tray. What I did here was to seal the meat and that way when the lamb cooks in the oven, the skin is going to be nice and crispy and it's going to be as close as possible to that restaurant quality finish. You can see how the skin of the lamb already looks a bit crusty and later on in the video we'll be adding some finishing touches before serving. It's wine time! I hope you liked my little dance because wine time is always a good time. I always keep a stash of 2 bottles of wine at home. So if I need it for either cooking or drinking, I know I'm covered. The best way to store red wine is in a cool, dark and dry place. What I usually do is I put it right at the back of my kitchen cabinet and I only move it or shake it when I'm ready to open it. I do that because letting the wine settle and ferment more increases its quality. And that's in my best interest because better wine equals milder hangovers. If you're 25 or over, you will understand why it's of paramount importance. So you'll see here that I'm stirring the honey together with the wine. I'm actually cheating a little bit today because what I should have done is reduce the red wine with some herbs in a saucepan. I'm going to achieve the same end result here because the honey is going to make the wine thicker, and that way the lamb will absorb it better when it's in the oven. The lamb isn't quite ready, but it's coming along really nicely. First, I'm going to start by scraping off some of those herbs I seared it with in the pan earlier. Since we still have some cooking time to go, I don't want to leave the herbs on for too long, otherwise they'll start burning and ruin the flavor of the meat. So as you'll see here, I've poured on some of the wine and honey mixture onto the meat, added the butter and put it back in the oven. That's the end of our time together, lifestyle connoisseurs. Thank you so much for watching and take care. If you want to shop any products I showed you today, they're on my Amazon list.